Hey guys, it's Justin from The Loop, student pastor.
And I'm Tony Bianco, middle school minister here at The Loop.
Yeah, hey listen, we are just thrilled to be here, loving on your students. Really appreciate you giving us that opportunity. And today we want to walk you through a mission strategy, something that is crucial to our ministry, something that has been in place and trying to build momentum. And we feel like we've got something down that we need to relay to you so that you can understand what we do, why we do, a lot of our trips, some of our events. And so we're going to start the basics of everything. Basically, we want you to understand that we want to take your students through a process. We don't want to just take them on a trip somewhere and drop them into experiences and camps and these things. And then they come back and things are the same, and then there's no real progression for them as they develop or grow. And so we feel like we've got a pretty good strategy that we want to let you know about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like Justin said, it's not really new, it's just been updated. We've always kind of had these things like Camp Intersect and Rush Week, but we've added some things, we've tweaked some things because we feel like we have a really good spot for your students right now and really how this progression would look in their spiritual walk. And so we can start with Camp Intersect. Camp Intersect is for our entering 6th and 7th graders. I say entering because Camp Intersect happens in the summer after promotion. And so your student has promoted out of their current grade they're in today into where they're going. And so Camp Intersect is for that. It's a 4.5-day experience here in Texas, just up the road a little bit, where your students have opportunity to be a part of corporate worship with their peers, as well as small groups, fun, crazy games, and just lots and lots of fun with a taste and a little hint of some mission activity while they're there. And so it's really a good starting ground for this process.
Yeah, and I love it. I think just going last year and seeing it, Camp Intersect was great. And kind of it was a safe environment for students to learn about missions, to get away, and to really just be able to pour in. And so it's a fantastic option for 6th and 7th graders. And one of the neat things that's coming up now and for this year, because we've added stuff, last year we started with Rushmore, which is a little bit later, we'll talk about that. But the middle piece to this, and something that's been going for a while, is Rush Week.
Right.
And Rush Week has traditionally been 8th grade through graduates. And this year we're changing it a little bit. And the reason that we're doing that is a little overlap for these events and things that we have going. And so this year we're wanting to include 7th graders. So that means if your student's in 6th grade right now, this will be entering 7th grade, they will have the option to actually join us for Rush Week. And now when you hear that, it sounds a little maybe confusing. Here's the deal though, they can do either one. They can choose to go to just Camp Intersect, they can choose to go just to Rush Week, or actually they can do both.
Right.
And we think that's a really neat thing, and something I love is that we're really going to try and hone in at Rush Week a really specialized time in missions just for 7th graders. So we'll be worshiping together and doing some things, but they will have a special time just for them to really experience missions in a different way. So
Right. We're going to do a specific location, ministry site, where our 7th graders will go. Before they start their day on mission, they will have a time of discipleship as 7th graders, walking through God's Word together and what it looks like in the Bible about missions, and really developing some missional skills and really a heart for missions. Something that they get at Camp Intersect, but something we want to give them also at Rush Week. And then they'll go off and do some mission work for that specific church. Maybe some not as extreme things as some of the other things that the other students are typically doing at Rush Week. And so it is still a progression for them. But we feel like the current 6th graders will have spent an entire year in the Hub Student Ministry and then possibly go backwards. And so being able to go to Rush Week, or have the option to go to Rush Week, if you feel your student is ready for Rush Week, we're giving them that opportunity this year, and we want them to take advantage of that. And actually, registration for Rush Week will begin early spring. So spring 2015, be looking for that.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them about Rushmore?
Yeah, I will. And I just real quick want to just preface Rush Week a little bit, let you notice this too. Rush Week, if you want to think of camp versus missions, it would be probably 60-40, 60% missions, 40% camp. Whereas Camp Intersect, it's mostly camp with a portion of missions. Rush Week, our focus is missions, and we're working with local churches in the area. And we're going actually to Panama City. We went last year, we're going again. We have some great relationships already built there. We're excited about that. But going there, I think that just understanding that 60% of what the time they're going to be doing is missions, the mornings, the things they're doing in the afternoons. And then we'll have the camp environment, campsite. So it's a great progression for our students into mission and living on mission. And so I think that's awesome. And the next thing, as you were just talking about, the next thing that begins to happen, the next progression is Rushmore. This last summer was the first summer we did this. Rushmore, we went to New York City and had a fantastic time. It was only juniors and seniors, or students actually, because of the promotion time, they were rising or entering seniors and graduates. This year, we're going to allow sophomores, juniors, and seniors to go to Rushmore. And now here's where it gets a little tricky when it comes to the whole
Entering
promotion.
and all this other thing, yeah.
Exactly. Is because we're doing this over spring break. And we're doing this trip over spring break intentionally because we have 2 different spring break times, and the next step includes college, and so whatever. But with this one, we want to take advantage of our spring break time instead of slamming our summer and cramming everything in. We wanted to really give some time to spring break. So we have 2 spring breaks. We have different campuses. So our downtown, Cypress, Siena, they're going to be able to join us, and their weeks are different than even some of the weeks that we have here at the Hub and downtown, or at the Loop here. And so we wanted to give all areas the opportunity to go and do something. So we're going back to New York City, but it's for sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And that's currently what they are right now. So if you have a sophomore student, they can go to New York this spring break. It's going to be an incredible experience. The thing I loved about this trip is it's more of 80-20. So 80% of missions, 20% is kind of a camp feel. And really, that's because we do worship at night and things. But we work with church planners. And while Rush Week, we work with established churches mostly, and some churches maybe that the pastor may have lost some vision and needs just some help to get his cause and vision out there to the community. When it comes to Rushmore, we partner with the Metro New York Baptist Association, and we went out and did some just awesome stuff working with church planners. And this year over spring break, we're going to do some of that, as well as some social justice activities, working with the association. And it's going to be an awesome trip. And so that's in March. That's over whatever spring break your student has. There will be an opportunity for them to join us if they're a sophomore, junior, or senior. And again, this they can still go to Rush Week. These students can still go to Rush Week, and that gives us a big enough gap between times from spring break to the end of July, which is when Rush Week is. It gives them that opportunity to still be involved and engaged with it. And then the final part is something that we're still fleshing out, that we're still really trying to hone in on, and we're not trying to force the issue on this year specifically, but we know where we're going as far as the direction of our ministry, and that's on an international trip. And it's not that a 9th grader may not be ready to go on an international trip, but we definitely want to see a progression take place in their lives as we take these trips. And so the idea for this is it's going to be a summer trip in June, and we're trying to make transitions as smooth as we can between grades, so that 6th grader, the rising 6th grader going to Camp Intersect, is a smooth transition for him or her. Going into Rush Week, smooth transition. Rushmore, smooth transition. This international trip is going to be for seniors. Now they're entering seniors and graduates because it's in June. It's just happened. A promotion's already happened. So entering seniors and graduates. And here's the next part. That transition period, we're also going to include college students. And the reason we're doing this in June and Rushmore and spring break is so that college students can join us. Not every college has the same spring break as our schools, high schools around here. And so this will allow some college students to also join us. And so what this does for our rising seniors is go ahead and have an idea of who our college ministry is and what they're doing. For those that are going into college, they now have a relationship with the college pastor and his staff. And then the college students they get to have just that relationship that's built. And so we're trying to smooth out all the transitions we possibly can, and just making this a journey for all of us, so that our students aren't just going to a location and plopping down and vegging out, but we're wanting to see their life on mission. We're wanting to see them have the experiences that come from these types of trips. And so hopefully that gives you an idea of what we're doing and what our desire is. I hope you hear our heart behind this. We're being very intentional in our planning, being very intentional in our thinking. And again, we just thank you for trusting us with that. We value you as a parent, and so we don't want to stand up and just make announcements to your kids. We want to make it as clear as we possibly can to you as well.
Right.
So if you have questions, comments, thoughts, by all means, please give them to us. And then here's another part to this. You're hearing us talk about these things. That means we're gone a lot. That means that we'll be on trips with things, and we're going to need other adults to join us. And so maybe you want to take a trip with your student. Come on, we'd love to have you. Maybe you want to be a part of something. You want to see what God's doing on these trips and what's happening. Man, we need you. We value you and would love to have you. And so thanks for taking the time to watch this. Tony, you have anything else to throw in that maybe I missed?
Now, I would just say that just like any other mission trip that we've done here in the Hub, Rush Week and Rushmore and the international trip, whatever that may look like, will all fall under the umbrella of matching funds. We match here anything that your student works for. And so if you're unfamiliar with that, please check out our Student Missions webpage. You can go to the Hub website. You can go to thehubstudents.com or just go to houstonsfirst.org/students, and you can find that tab on the side there. It's got all the information about what's happening here, what matching is, to help get your student to some of these events, because you may want your student to go to New York City for Rushmore, but you're thinking financially already, how is that possible? Well, we have a matching program here to help them do that, and so we'd love for you to take a look at that.
Yeah.
And Rushmore registration starts today. And so you're able to go and get them online, and you can book the deposit, get their name on there so that they can go for whichever spring break fits. So,
and there are limited spots for that. For each of these events, we will have limited spots. We want your kids to be excited about what we do. And so if you can join us and encouraging them to join us on these trips, then that'd be incredible. And like Tony said, the financial side of it, guys, we understand that can be a strain. I mean, I get it. And it's not that we're just wanting to take away money. We want your student to develop and grow. And we think that these things are valuable in helping that happen. And so take advantage of these things. Also, there's ways for you to write a support letter. Kids can do it in multiple ways. And so hopefully this has been informational and educational for you to be able to just take and learn more about what we're doing. And again, hear our heart for your students and what we want to do for them. So we love you. We appreciate you and look forward to partnering with you more.